Hello again, guys. It's Wayne Cameron again. This is my part 2 series on how to breathe and how to blow your air out correctly. Now, one of the real concerns with many brass players, all brass players, especially high brass, horn and trumpet, is you get a tight throat when you go in the upper register. Now, that happens to many people. And there are all kind of ways you can see on the internet how to solve it. You blow into a tube, you relax your throat, you expand your throat, and all this kind of stuff. It's been my experience that expanding your throat open like this just causes tension. In my opinion, it's not the diameter of your throat or your windpipe, it's the tension. I'll give you a case example. I had a student at Peabody years ago, and when he came in, his throat was really tight. And this was before I discovered what I'm going to tell you today. His throat was really tight, so I went along with the company line, open your throat, relax your throat, open your throat. Well, he did, and he got really good results. But after a while, he started to sound like his throat was tight again. But I could see it expanding. I could see it expanding. And I'm really confused. All the consensus is you got to open your throat, open your throat. So one of the things I've done in my career to learn how to solve problems that other people have, if I've never had that problem, if I see a problem in a student, I will go make myself have that problem to figure out what they're doing. That's how I get insight into other people's problems. So what I did was I started practicing expanding my throat as much as I could, and lo and behold, all of a sudden my tone was terrible, my high register was terrible, and what I surmised was it was not the diameter, but the tension. You don't want the tension. Your throat should be relaxed, just like it is while I'm talking now. Your throat is just a conduit to get the air up to your mouth and to the lips and in the horn. It really shouldn't be involved in playing at all. It's just a conduit, okay? So what I finally discovered, there's a term called the Valsalva maneuver. It's a medical term. And this maneuver was discovered in the 16th century by an Italian physician named Valsalva. Now, what that is when you start to support from down low, and this is very important, watch carefully. When you start blowing down low, as you begin to support, if you feel like the support effort begins to rise up into the middle of your chest here, right in through here, you trigger the Valsalva maneuver. And what the Valsalva maneuver does, it automatically closes your throat. If you don't keep your support effort down low, you'll trigger the Valsalva maneuver and your throat is closed. You can think open throat, whatever you want to till the cows come home, but you're not going to have a relaxed throat. Now, a good way to test this, to feel what it feels like so you can compare it to how you feel when you're playing up high. It usually happens when you're up high. To feel what you're doing is find something really heavy like a piano or get a friend to you hold your hands out, let his hands on you. You know what curls are when you lift weights like this? Have him push down, you push up. Watch what happens right here. As soon as you start to lift something heavy, these muscles constrict right in through here, and you'll feel your throat close off. Now, if that's what you feel like when you start going into the upper register, then you're triggering the Valsalva maneuver, and you need to make sure you're keeping your support down low, not let it rise up into this area. If you do that, you won't have any trouble with a tight throat. It won't happen. It simply won't happen. Now, Another concern about support is this. When you're playing, especially if you're playing loud, and you begin to get really blatty, uncentered sound, do you feel like you're blowing into an empty bottle? There's a lot of back pressure. If you feel that, what's happening is, remember we talked about arching your tongue, saying the E syllable? Well, your tongue is dropped too much and the air is not focused. So what's happening is, let's say that the aperture in your embouchure is this size, okay? Now you're not arching your tongue, which is reducing the airstream down to a laser. Your airstream is too big, too wide to go through the pinhole. So what happens is, let's say the pinhole's here, and let's say your wind diameter is 1 inch. When it hits that pinhole, some air will go through there, but what happens to the rest of it? It backs up in your face. Now, when you feel like that, the secret is to arch your tongue higher. Say the letter E, sooner than later. That will help fix that. I guarantee it. Try it. Okay, guys, that's enough for today. Let me know what you think. See you later.